try to help you incubate. We're going to give you access. And we're going to give you access to other people who are trying to do some of the same kinds of goal actualizations that you do. You know, you see there's educators in the room, there are veterans in the room. I don't know if they showed you anything about who I am. I did 35 and a half years of service. And like that gentleman right now who's trying to look like he's very civilian, I kicked doors in and I was an airborne ranger. But the most important thing about the veterans is that they bring with them those real attributes that as a soldier we said: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. After about basic training and 1 unit assignment, it goes from being just words to what we believe because teammates believe it, and therefore you have to believe it. And what makes us different from a gang is that we have a real deep and abiding love for a Constitution and the teammates that we fight with and for. That's what makes us, so if you're an employer, that's what makes us pretty special. That's what makes us special. If you're going to be the employer, the company that you raise, train, groom, it is going to, whether you try to hide it from yourself or not, young man, it is going to be part of the character of your organization. You're almost going to insist on it. And so GBI is going to try to help provide the access to folks, companies, organizations, and to you, the means by which you can go ahead and take all those skills, knowledge, and abilities that you have earned, those values that you have started to embody, and put those into companies that you create and or work for and with. One of the things that Paul likes to talk about is many of us don't have some of the, we start to find walls that are sometimes falsely created, but there are opportunities out there. There are opportunities from government and there are opportunities from folks like the Warren Buffett, because I don't know where he got it from, but he actually is a man of values. And he wants to try to do things to help our world. And in spite of what our current political organization tries to talk about, the horse has left the barn. We are a global world. We are global. That happened. If you talk to Boeing or any of the American large companies, we are gone. We order from, we work with, and intellectual property is hard to hold on really past the point of you showing it to anybody, because reverse engineering can be done from so many different means. So you're global. So the question is, how do you continue to compete? In our conversations, we're going to talk, and we will talk, always talk about the ability to compete on the global scale. And we're part of that. In fact, we probably know that better than most anybody, clearly better than some politicians. We're global. Am I still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because you all froze on it for a moment. And look, and I realize that sometimes I hit a nerve, but I've never been spellbinding. So
you are this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So we're a global organization. We're global, and by definition, we want to make sure everybody starts to think that way. You know, and now, one of the things I used to do when I was the operations director in AFRICOM is I would go to countries and I would tell them that I'm here to tell you right now that we're about America, and American interests. And they would push back a little bit, and I said, don't be afraid. I said, in 1978, one of the interests of America has been human rights. One of the other interests of America, and every person who's a student of history knows that allies are so important to great nations' survival. No great nation, and only the most idiotic person will believe that any nation goes along. As far back as the Peloponnesian Wars, the reason why the Athenians lost is because they didn't recognize the ideas behind the power of allies. It wasn't the great skill of the Spartan. It was the fact that they realized teammates eventually will take you over. We recognize that. We know that. And so in our design, in our conversations, and everything we do, we're going to make sure that you also kind of learn to think in a globally competitive world. And so when you talk about American interest is also includes taking care of people around the world, because we also learned in World War II that sometimes you have to step outside your boundaries, because America is not from shore to shore and the hop, skip, and a jump to Alaska and Hawaii, or even the islands that are just outside of us. Americans, we come from every place, and everybody has a sister soldier, cousin, aunt, uncle from around the world. As I told a young Korean one time back in 1980, when he told me, he says, why don't you speak my language? I said, first of all, I'm here in Korea because you asked me to be here. I said, but that's okay. And you call me a young country. I said, I've got a Korean cousin, and so I'm connected. So by definition, I'm as old. My family, my world is as old as the world is. Secondly, as far as the state of the United States is, or the state boundaries, I said we're older than Germany because that was since 1864. And most folks don't know, they don't think like that or know that. But we as soldiers do. We bring that to the fight. So one of the goals for all of us is to make sure that, one, we think about veterans for their capability and their values. We think about the totality of the whole person, the whole cloth that a soldier can bring to fight, whether that's you or whether that's somebody hired. And then lastly, we think about the fact that a soldier brings to you a perspective of America that is different and unique from most other Americans who haven't really interfaced or had to represent or carry the shield of what America is in this Constitution. I'm really proud to see all the folks in the room, and I hope the financial advisors, the new financial advisors, are going to also show and demonstrate some skills, knowledge, and abilities to the rest of the team about how to take the funds that are raised and make them become more funds and grow to wealth. Subject to your questions, that's all I have, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Are there any questions you'd like to ask the general?
Absolutely.
I was opening up for everyone here. The only question is I'm hoping to see you in November.
In Los Angeles!
That's right.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for joining us, sir.
I have a quick question.
Hold on.
First of all, thank you for your service. One of the things that I've recognized, both being the child of a career Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant, and from the veterans that I see in my classrooms is that there seems to be a disconnect between what they did in their service role to the country and how they work as individuals, as entrepreneurs. From your experience, can you help share some of those transferable skills that you see are so critical in making that connection?
Can you do me a favor? Can you reiterate the first part of your question?
The first part of the Sure. The first part of the question is how you can translate the skills gained as a service member into this individual role as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, very good. The first thing is that there's a work ethic. That all of them have. There's a sense of bringing whatever it is that they're being tasked to do to fruition. you know, all of you as educators know that the source and type of degree doesn't matter. That's why you encourage everybody to always finish, just finish. Because half the times, that's why folks spend time in college. Well, the military, they're focused on finishing. They also have a sense of development of a strategy, whether it's a tactic or a tactical issue. They always try to figure out a plan before they just jump into it. Now, every now and then, some people realize that motion is needed just to try to figure out what you have. There's some discovery in the beginning. They won't spend a lot of time, but they'll at least try to get together a plan. The other most critical skill that they bring to both education work and to entrepreneurship is teamwork. Teamwork. You know, in our schoolhouses, only about 20% of the kids will actually participate in sports actively. And so without that, many kids miss that how to not just play well with others, but play well with others for mutual benefit, and learn how to put their personal feelings aside for the good of the team. And so, I know you've all probably read the book Good to Great, but if you notice that one of the things that all of the CEOs asked about, which was, what was that single most critical skill, is teamwork. And your veterans will be able to help you do that. They will learn how to put their individual desires aside for the good of the team and for the mission. You know, in fact, you will find that there's some folks who you know are more assertive than they're pretending will become gatekeepers, the purpose of winning. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, well, look, I will see you all in November, hopefully. And like I said, you can give this team in this room my ANGB CEO at gmail.com if you have one of a follow-up conversation. I say again, it's Alpha November Golf Bravo Charlie Echo Oscar at gmail.com. If you have a follow-up question for me, and I will send you an answer back in about 24 hours or less. Thank you all so much. I appreciate your efforts. I appreciate what you're doing for yourselves, for your Patriots, your colleagues, and also for our nation. Godspeed.
Thank you, sir.